Hey guys, we thought we'd do something a little bit different for you this week. We are actually filming this week at a very interesting haunted location that we're very excited to share with you. But because it's about midway through the week, there was no way for us to be able to put it together into an episode for you on Saturday. So for this week, we thought we would create more of like a vlog style investigation, revisiting a location that we have actually been to in the past. If you remember last year, right as soon as the pandemic hit, we were doing these solo investigations where we would each pick a location and go there by ourselves. And for this investigation, I went by myself out to the murder site of Louisa Fox. Spin that back towards the stone there that they dedicated to you. Can you move that back towards the stone if you're here? Oh, it's moving. And there it went off. The stone. Man, she went to the stone. Now, right now I'm standing in Salem Cemetery, and this is actually where Louisa Fox is buried. As the story goes, Louisa, at the age of 13 years old, was engaged to be married to a man named Thomas Carr. And when the engagement broke off, through vengeance, Thomas followed her home from school. He hid in the bushes, pulled her aside off of the road, and stabbed her to death just a couple miles that way. Many people have had experiences with what they believe to be the spirit of Louisa Fox, as well as the spirit of Thomas Carr. Some people have heard voices. Some people have even seen full-bodied apparitions wandering around out here. An interesting thing about Egypt Valley is it's an area that is subject to a lot of local folklore. A lot of the locals here not only believe to have had experiences with Louisa and Thomas Carr, but they have also had experiences with other things they can't explain. There's the legend of a car that appears out of nowhere and follows you with their high beams on, only to disappear as quickly as it came. There's also the story of children that wander this area. People have smeared baby powder down the side of their car, driven these country gravel roads, and then when they get out of their car at the end of the road, they see handprints running down the side of their car. So this is an investigation that is going to be kind of interesting. It's something that we haven't done in a long time, an outdoor investigation. It brings with it its own challenges, but it also brings with it its own intrigue, and we are excited to get started. Now, I wanted to take a moment to kind of express a little bit of dissatisfaction with the fact that someone, I don't know who, but I'm pretty sure it was a person, came out here to Salem Cemetery and completely pushed over the gravestone of Louisa Fox, and it is still laying on the ground over here. I mean, people come out here to visit these cemeteries and see these things and explore these local legends and folklore and the local history. It is completely unacceptable for anyone to deface or destroy a 13-year-old's gravesite. I mean, that girl was murdered. And I wanted to try and see if we could do something to help fix this gravestone back in a respectable condition. But Dave, Steve, and Jason are going to be showing up very soon. With that, I think it's about time to explore the history and hauntings of Egypt Valley, Ohio. So Jason, Dave, and Steve joined me out here in Egypt Valley, and we are going to be spending some time out here to see if we can communicate with some of the spirits that they believe haunt this wildlife preserve. One of the most interesting things about tonight's investigation is, as you can see behind me, tonight is a supermoon. It's actually what's called a pink moon, and we're hoping that that's going to amplify some of the spiritual energy and maybe help us come in contact with whatever energy or entities haunt Egypt Valley. So we are going to split up into groups of two. Dave and Steve are going to do a session here at the murder site of Louisa Fox, while Jason and I are going to go over to her gravesite and see if we can communicate with her there. And maybe we might pick up on the same energy or entities bouncing back and forth between the two. You guys ready to get started?
I am.
Heck yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right, so we just dropped Dave and Steve off out at the murder site of Louisa Fox. Jason and I are driving down the road here, and it's a pretty decent drive, a few miles actually, to get to over here on the other side where Louisa is actually buried. And it's worth noting that these roads, people have creepy experiences out here as well. I mean, they're desolate dirt roads that don't get a lot of traffic after a certain hour. And people have driven out here and just explored and done some ghost hunting, ghost exploration out here. And one of the reports and urban legends of this is that they see headlights flip on in their rear view mirror. And they say that there is some sort of phantom truck, as they call it. And multiple people have experienced this, that they don't see anyone coming up behind them, and then all of a sudden these headlights will turn on in their rear view mirror. And it really freaks them out, and they feel like someone's following them, but then just as quickly as the headlights came, they disappear. And then there's nobody following them, and there's nobody behind them. So we'll definitely have to be watching out for anything of that nature while we're out here. That type of activity borders on the urban legend type of activity, but if multiple people are reporting it, there might be some validity to it. So, and also people will be driving out through here and just see apparitions moving along the road or across the road. So it is very desolate, and Jason and I were talking about how it makes you wonder how many people have actually dumped bodies out here, because it is so remote. It is so just, I mean, empty. It's like, what, 14,000 acres. And so who knows, maybe that might contribute to a little bit of activity. But we will find out. We are on our way over there now, and we will check back in whenever we get there.
Now, Ryan and Jason had just head on to the gravesite of Louisa Fox here in Egypt Valley. Dave and I stayed back here at the site of her murder, and what we're going to try to do is try to help Louisa Fox pass through this area right along the road, right down below us, safely to go on her way to where she would have been going years ago. Now, with the SLS camera, we're going to try to document any mappings of what might be Louisa Fox as we try to escort her through this area, again, where her untimely end happened, on up the road to where she might be able to find peace and potentially maybe cross over and move on. So we're going to get started with that and see what happens.
All right, so we just got here to the cemetery where Louisa Fox is buried, and it's a funny story. As we pulled up here, we saw a couple people sitting out here already investigating, and Mark and Amanda over here are going to be doing some ghost hunting of their own. We're going to be down here over the hill, and we'll see what we pick up down there, and we'll leave them to do their thing. So good luck, guys. Whoa. Let me hit record on that. It just said Adam. That's interesting. I'm going to run on the ghost tube here, as well as Jason's going to run his recorder. We got the REM pod.
From what it sounds like, Louisa would have been coming from this end down here to my right and walking her way up this way up to my left. And we're going to walk down this way a little bit. We're going to be rolling as we are right now with the recorder, the SLS cam, and the handheld cam. And again, we're going to try to see if we can document that she's here. And again, hopefully escort her up past this area where, you know, it's almost emotional. You know, this young girl, she was what, 13? And just couldn't imagine what was going through her mind. She probably had no care, no worries at all when she was walking up this road until she was viciously attacked. So I'm gonna head down this way to see if we can make communication with her.
All right.
I'm leaving.
I just said, I'm leaving.
Dana.
Dana. That's weird. For those of you that don't know, GhostTube is an application for tablets, iPhones, and it is created by Jared and Amy of the YouTube channel Amy's Crypt. So if you don't follow them, go over to their channel and follow them. Sometimes we do like to experiment with this app because we've listened in depth to what Jared has to say about how he built this app and how it's not just random word generation. He actually does have the sensors in the phones utilize to try and pick up on EMF, the different fluctuations in the environmental changes.
We'd like to help you walk past this area. We don't know if necessarily if you're aware of what had happened to you or what may happen to you if you're repeating this cycle. But what we'd like to do for you is escort you up past this area. And if Thomas, if you're in this area right now, you stay the hell away from Louisa. You are not welcome here. You are not wanted here whatsoever, and you have no right, no permission whatsoever to follow or attach to us or Louisa. You just how still it got?
It did get still.
Yeah. You stay the hell away from her.
There's a little toy right here that we put on top of the stone. If you get close to it, you can touch it.
Louisa, if you're here, I want to put my hand out. Right here. Can you touch my hand? Would you please touch my hand? Walk up to my hand, maybe say your name.
Are you a friend?
Are you a friend? Yes. That's kind of weird.
Yes, we're friends. We're friendly. We come here in respect. We mean you no harm.
This whole area is just has a surreal, heavy energy to it.
It does.
It's like it's sacred. All right, Louisa, we're gonna slowly walk up this road. I'm gonna get over here on the right side. That way you can walk on this side.
We just want to get to know you. We understand that you might be a little bit leery of us because we're wearing strange clothing, but we don't mean you any harm. And in fact, we would love it if you would just come and talk to us. We want to know about what happened.
It's okay, Louisa. We're gonna walk on up this way. We're very sorry with what happened to you, Louisa.
Louisa, do you see how we're trying to be nice and help you through here? So you can cross over? Just stand by Steve there with the little orange light.
Right here.
And we'll be able to help you if you want. You don't have to.
You know, our friends Dave and Steve are out on the road where you used to walk home from school with your brother.
Dog.
Dog. Is that a dog?
I don't know. It sounded heavy. If something
Just said dog and something ran out of the woods right here.
if something comes out of the tree line, I'm going up in this tree.
It was small. It sounded to be about the size of a dog though.
Sounded heavy.
That is weird. Dude.
What we're going to do is utilize the customized REM pod that Dave and Ryan set up with our broken REM pod, which just was the antenna broke off, and what they did is they took it apart and brought the copper out to the side so we can connect it with a copper wire, connect it to a metal source. So what it does, it extends the REM pod's capability of us getting to use like inanimate objects and stuff in hopes that the spirit might actually reach out and touch the item.
Right over here, there's a silver platter right there on the ground with a couple of things sitting in it. And if you'd like, you can go and check out what's on that platter. And it will also let us know that you're here if you would do that for us.
But that's just so weird that it said dog, and literally right after it said dog, there was an animal that sounded to be about the size of a dog that ran out of the tree line right here. Wow, that was kind of startling. Louisa, were you telling us there was a dog back there?
Thomas. Come on, if you're such a big, bad guy, come out here and scratch my arm or something. Do something. You could brutally murder a 13-year-old girl. You can come up here and scratch my arm. Did you sigh?
No.
Did you hear that? It was like...
No. What to have you guys check it out in post.
Was that you? I've got cold chills, so I know somebody's nearby.
Jason, also, if you get close over there to Jason and you talk, we should be able to hear your voice.
That sounds lighter.
Yeah.
Like a...
Can you see what it is?
No. I'm watching that tree line.
David.
Whatever comes out of there is bigger than a bread loaf. I'm going in that tree.
We're standing out here in the pitch black.
We can't even see you.
This is what you like to do, is hide in the dark and prey on people, so let's go.
Oh, green. Here we go. Pick it up.
I didn't hear it, though.
I saw it. I just happened to turn around and saw it.
I mean, it's some animal.
It is an animal.
The last time we heard it, I could hear it like chirping, almost like a bird was like fluttering around or something.
Well, I heard that it was a bat that we heard chirping.
Yeah, I didn't recognize that.
You can hear it walking.
It could just be... Could be a coon or a possum. Sometimes they make those little chirping like noises.
It could be.
Lauren.
Is that Lauren? Who's Lauren?
And there's no way that would go off by itself. Not at all.
It's been sitting there for 15 minutes.
Can you move that little spoon?
All of your stuff is sitting there on that silver spoon, that silver platter. Can you move it?
Can you please touch that toy right up there? If that is you talking through this, we appreciate it, but the problem is we can't prove that that's you. We need some other sort of confirmation from you that you're talking to us, Louisa.
Are you afraid of Thomas? That's weird.
That's really weird.
That's weird.
At the exact moment Dave asked if Louisa is afraid of Thomas,
Are you afraid of Thomas?
the trigger REM pod stopped alarming, and the EDI plus meter picked up on a sudden change in temperature. When investigating the paranormal, you want corroboration. For example, when Dave asked if Louisa was afraid of Thomas, the trigger REM pod stopped, which is bizarre in and of itself. But the fact that the EDI meter picked up on a strange fluctuation in temperature at the exact moment that the trigger REM pod stopped alarming helps add a little bit of validity to the fact that this might be unexplained. At this point, we're not sure if they're communicating with Louisa or if they're communicating with Thomas, but it seems like something is there manipulating the equipment that Dave and Steve have set up on the memorial. But like I was going to say right before we heard that walking, if you walk over to Jason and you say something, in his hand there, he has something that will be able to record your voice. And I know that sounds kind of strange. If you walk over and talk to him, we'll be able to hear your voice later on. You have to get really close to it, though.
You don't have to be afraid of Thomas.
Whoa. I feel like I'm going to be able to see.
Huh? I definitely just heard footsteps in the rocks.
Yeah.
You don't have to be afraid of Thomas. Look. Look. Huh?
That's exactly what I heard. Oh, it is charged right here around me right now.
Oh yeah. This whole little area is charged.
It's hallowed. It's hallowed ground.
What is that? That's some kind of animal over there.
I heard something break the twigs.
I can't see nothing.
You don't have to stay here. If you believe in God, you can go be with God. If you believe in God, you can go be with God. How strange this is.
Yeah, it's surreal. This is what I love about investigating.
Me too.
It's
That was
like
not coincidental.
no, not at all.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
I just hope it's nothing bigger than a raccoon.
It doesn't sound big enough to be a big animal.
Iron.
It's hard to say, man. I mean,
Iron.
sometimes a squirrel will sound like that too, but you just never know.
Yeah.
Makes me very uncomfortable. So the side that has the etching of her name on it's on its bottom.
Yeah, the side with her name etched on it is on the underside of that.
Yeah, it's especially a shame.
It'd be nice to get it back up on here. I mean, it's smooth, it's flat. This isn't broken off at all. But this is monstrous. This is heavy. I tried to lift it by myself to try and put it upright. And it was too much. But so far it's been a little bit quiet. I hope Dave and Steve are getting some stuff out there at the murder site. We're gonna go out there and pick them up. And then we're gonna be coming back here, and then the four of us are gonna hit the cemetery.
It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
But I would say any minute the boys will be back, and it was just like perfect timing for us to be here.
It was meant to happen.
Because we weren't going to do this.
Huh.
We were not going to split up
No.
initially.
I'm glad we kind of did. You know, we get to cover more, and I think that might have.
That was meant to happen.
What happened?
Dude,
We
we
had
had some weird stuff happen.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Did anything happen your way?
Well, we did have one weird thing happen, and that was when we were set up by Louisa's grave. I had the ghost tube going, and the REM pod didn't get touched, but it said, all of a sudden the ghost tube just said dog, and then 2 seconds later, an animal ran out of the woods.
Dog.
Dog. Is that a dog?
I don't know. It sounded heavy.
That's crazy.
That's weird.
Like really loud, and to the point where Jason and I were like, what the f? And then Jason was like, if anything comes out of that tree line bigger than a loaf of bread, I'm gonna be up this tree. David.
Whatever comes out of there is bigger than a bread loaf. I'm going in that tree.
We had the trigger REM pod set up. It's still set up, as is.
Okay.
And we had the voice recorder sitting on the rock there. And then one of the weird things that happened was I heard this weird, like, voice. It was like,
Yeah.
like that. And I thought it was him, but it wasn't.
It was weird.
It was weird. So after that happened, we moved a little bit more up towards the top there.
Yeah.
And Steve was filming me. I don't know how he saw it because he was facing that way.
I
But
saw it in my peripheral vision.
the trigger REM pod started going off.
Oh, green. Here you go. Pick it up.
That went off. We came over here, and I started talking to her, and I said, "Are you afraid of Thomas?" And it stopped. Are you afraid of Thomas? That's weird.
That's really weird.
That's weird.
Within a
Just
second.
Completely stopped.
Stopped.
I don't know. I feel like that was meant to happen.
Yeah.
Very, very, very weird, very strange.
Very direct.
It was very direct.
Yeah, compared to what we got over there at her gravesite, I mean, like, we got nearly nothing over there at her gravesite.
So you want to do the 4-bit here? Or go back over there?
Well, I mean, if the activity's here, I think we should definitely hit this a little bit longer. If there's anyone here with us, Dave has a box that if you get close to it, he'll be able to hear your voice. Can you say your name, please? Some people see you out here in this forest.
Here.
Yeah, here.
Male said here.
Thomas Carr, is that you talking to us?
hate.
Who do you hate?
Henry. Faintly said Henry.
Car. Music.
As Dave was listening to the spirit box, we started to think Thomas Carr was attempting to make communication with us. Unfortunately, at this exact moment, a car pulled up to us, blasting loud music. It slowed down, stopped, and a woman started screaming at us.
What are you doing? She's at rest. She's trying to be at rest. You guys keep coming around picking on her.
We're not picking on her.
What are you doing then?
We tried to ignore her, but she continued to scream at us, calling us evil, and telling us to stop picking on Louisa. The more we tried to explain our intentions, the angrier she got, screaming profanities at us before driving to the top of the hill and watching us with her music blasting at full volume. It was obvious that whatever communication we were hoping to make would now be impossible, so we packed up our gear and prepared to leave. Before we left to go home, though, we wanted to go back to the cemetery and try to set Louisa's gravestone back to its rightful position. And luckily, Mark and Amanda were still there to help us. But we hadn't seen the last of our angry stalker. All right, guys, so we ended up having to end our investigation abruptly because there were some people coming through screaming at us, or one person really. Wouldn't leave us alone, kept following us around out here and screaming at us. So we decided to use the rest of our time that we were here, and actually over here is Mark and Amanda.
She's coming back.
And we actually got to set her stone back up here.
We did. Yeah, we got it all set back up there, put back in place. We did some teamwork with some folks that we met here, and we got it back where it should rightfully be. So,
Yes.
Absolutely.
It was very heavy, but we ended up getting it back up. It's not secured in place, but it's back up there at least, and hopefully it'll stay there and people won't push it over. So
oh, for the love of God.
they're backing up, so we're gonna cut here. They're coming back up here.
Yep.
We got,
Bothering you because you're bothering her.
here we go.
Oh, you're a little bit late with the lights, but we got it, thanks.
We don't have much footage from this confrontation at the cemetery. When she drove up, she immediately started to scream at us again, while all 6 of us attempted to lift this huge piece of stone back in place. She screamed profanities, called us names, threatened us, and told us that she knew we were trying to conjure Louisa. At one point, I think she even called herself the devil. But luckily, despite all the hostility, we were able to get the headstone of Louisa Fox back to its standing position. So we are back in the car here. We are driving out of the area. We even had to cut that segment of us showing that we had got her headstone replaced back straight up and down. We even had to cut that straight because the lady came rolling back and started screaming more profanities at us. And she just kept coming back for more, and then she sat there with her headlights on screaming at us until we got out of there. You know, she was screaming at us over by the site where she was killed. We thought we were making communication with Thomas. We thought we might be getting ready to make communication with Thomas because there were voices coming through the spirit box. But then she rolled up and started screaming at us, so we moved over to Louisa's gravesite just one last time to get her tombstone or headstone set back up, since both Amanda and Mark were still there. And we were able to do that, but then she just continually screamed at us until we left. So we weren't able to do any more filming really because of that. But we are happy that we got that set back up, because that was just a tragedy to see someone who had knocked over Louisa's headstone. So, but thank you all so much for watching the video. We're sorry that it was a little bit of a nightmare.
Yes.
But remember to hit that like button, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to turn on your bell notifications and set them to all so you can be notified anytime we upload. And until next time, guys, we're coming back at you with more haunted locations, more paranormal investigations, and we will see you in the next video.